Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday motivation and conversation once again. And I am graced with another guest this week, Dr. Annette Wagner. Glad to have you in the house on tonight for Tuesday motivation and conversation. How are you this evening, ma'am?
I am doing fine. It's good to be here. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Well, for those of you who are chiming in tonight, I'm gonna get over here so I can see y'all, because y'all be ducking in and out. But for those of you who are chiming in tonight, yes, she is an actual doctor. Yes, she's an OBGYN. And so I'm gonna give her pass her the mic here and just let her tell us about who she is, and what it is that she does, and then we'll kind of move further along. And so this is the medicine part. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll kind of move along into the rest of our conversation on tonight. This is going to be good. So you need to share with somebody right now. All right, talk to us about what it is that you do, Miss Annette, and introduce yourself to us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Annette Wagner. I'm an OBGYN, currently practicing in Erie, Pennsylvania. I am from Connecticut, and relocated here in Erie in private practice. I have been practicing OB for about 23 years now.
Wow.
Um, so that's me.
All right, so y'all got it. She's an OBGYN. So if there are any questions, ladies, I know y'all have questions. So if y'all have any questions, especially if you 50 plus, you got questions, make sure that you put those in the chat for us. Um, well, hello, Hazel. Glad to have you on. Anybody else out there want to just say hello to us in the chat? Definitely feel free to chime in. We were just talking about you, Hazel, so I know your ears are burning.
Hi, Miss Hazel.
So that is that's one piece. So your trichotomy we're talking about tonight, because there's a medicine piece that you have a passion for, that you've done for 23 plus years now. Then we have what I'm saying is ministry and mission. And so talk to us about, how the three kind of fold into one. So this is your focus as an OBGYN, but then there's another piece that you have that you're very passionate about. So I want you to kind of talk to us about that and how that intertwines into the medicine part.
Okay. So for many years, I would say I only thought of practicing medicine was who I was as being a doctor. I didn't
Hmm.
see it initially as a calling or
Hmm.
a mission. It's just what I was passionate about in pursuit of helping people with their
Yeah.
medical problems, preventive care. And
Hmm.
then as time progressed and God gave me a vision to bring healing, hope, and empowerment to women. I started off
Hmm.
at surgery and switched to OBGYN. As I love to operate, but I missed that connection
Hmm.
um, in dealing with patients. I had the adrenaline, rushing to do trauma surgeries, various
Hmm.
surgeries, but I needed that connection to
Hmm.
educate, to help, to talk to empower, because I strongly felt and was led women are the backbone.
Yeah.
Women drives healthcare
Hmm.
in any family. No man is just going to go to the hospital
No, he's not.
or go to the doctor, nor is he going to make sure the kids have their vaccinations or have
That
health.
part is true.
So realizing it's that the woman, the strength of the woman, the backbone of the family needing to be
Hmm.
taken care of,
Yeah.
needing to be heard, needing to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, as time progress in my career, in my training, meeting people, I was introduced to medical missions in
Hmm.
Africa by one of my mentors who was from Ghana.
Okay.
Even before that, I took my first trip out of the country to Tanzania, to a remote village where my parents couldn't even contact me, had never been out of the country. Um, no running water, with missionaries who had been living there for over 50 plus years in a small
Wow.
village. Um, and that was my first introduction to medical missions.
Wow.
And from then, with my mentor, just going in and seeing the needs that were within the community, not only just need for healthcare, but the need to empower, to educate, to listen, to understand cultures. And one of the things that God has blessed me with um, is that love of being amongst people of different backgrounds,
Hmm.
different cultures,
Hmm.
and engaging and learning more.
I want to ask, and I know, so when you think about the medical missions and being in the villages where there's no running water, there's not adequate housing, there's so many inadequacies, right? Um, what was it like that first time with those missionaries that had been there for some time would be the first question. And then what were some of the things that you identified? Because we know as women, we have a lot of needs, right? We have the monthly cycles, we have, daughters that we're raising, you have women who are, pregnant and so the care is not the same as it is in the States in these villages. So what were some of the immediate needs that you saw and what was your passion aligned with?
Learning that what you just is something as life changing as a start of your period.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that we have people who will come and teach us um, what that time of the month is going to be like
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the supplies that are needed. And imagine going
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where there's no supplies, no one's teaching you.
Right.
Um, and just saying that you're seeing people walking around and have these little pieces of cloth
Yeah.
that they're washing in the river and hanging out to
Wow.
dry or having to stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you're in those situations, that's when you become really creative
Mm-hmm.
as God pours into you answers or ideas.
Mm-hmm.
As you begin to say, now we don't have pads here, we have
Mm-hmm.
cloth. How can a women we come together and sew? We make menstrual packets
Mm-hmm.
with certain materials that are available.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, where I was, there was no toilet paper. Those were items I brought over.
Mm-hmm.
But to say, when you have certain leaves or certain type of, like totally different from what you've ever encountered,
Yeah.
and not being judgmental or critical, but to say,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we have. Now, what can we do with it?
Mm-hmm.
God, show us how can we use the resources that you've made available.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Women going through childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
There's no epidurals. There's no medicines. There's
Mm-hmm.
no doctors. There's community workers. There's older women in the village who will come and they'll sit and help deliver the babies. But then saying, if you Many have gone through childbirth and had tears.
Yeah.
They're repaired. There's no repair.
Mm-hmm.
You have many women who are walking around leaking urine or
Mm-hmm.
stool constantly
Mm-hmm.
because there was no way to repair
Right.
tears. And that's where you have certain organizations that'll come in and they'll have what we call fistula clinics, where you
Mm-hmm.
may operate on 50 to 100. They'll come from all over because these women become ostracized. They
Mm-hmm.
outcasts in their regions.
Mm-hmm.
Not only they would have had the children, but their families would leave them because of the odor.
Wow.
They would sit in the huts or their homes and they would just gather together. But because of the embarrassment, they were not considered worthy
Mm-hmm.
to anyone. Even their children were taken away from them.
Wow.
Seeing that, is so heart-wrenching as to know with all that we're blessed with here in the US and we complain
Mm-hmm.
about things,
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
healthcare system,
Yeah.
that someone else, there's no x-rays, there's no labs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that I am called to. I'm called to serve.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as a result of, and I know this could be a conversation hours to on end, talking about the various opportunities and the conditions and the adversities that people in these villages face on a consistent basis. So you have, um, as a result, fast forward, established your own mission or nonprofit. Talk to us a little bit about that. And then I definitely want you to share how it is that people who are watching, who may watch the replay of this, can get involved, can get engaged, and be a part of what it is that you're doing.
So in March of 2024, Mustard Seed Global Health and Wellness Incorporated was established. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which is women-led, women-founded,
Mhm.
in which me, alongside a very dear friend of mine, she's a certified nurse midwife who's been practicing for over 25 years,
Mhm.
um, started the organization to bring services, healthcare, as well as skilled job training and economic development to
Mhm.
various places throughout Africa. We're mostly concentrated right now in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Liberia.
Okay.
So we're planting seeds of change that would transform lives for generations to come.
Yeah.
I strongly believe the smallest acts of faith can grow into something big, extraordinary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is there a website that people can go to? Um, and I'll definitely, when we repost this episode, we'll make sure that that's added as well. But for those who are currently um, with us tonight live, they may want to take that information down and just visit the website to see how they can engage and connect.
So our website is www.msghealth.org.
One more time.
So that's www.msghealth.org.
And so what is coming up? When is your next mission trip? What do you have coming up next? And in addition to that, just share with us a few of the immediate targets or some of the targets that you have for the nonprofit organization as a result of that upcoming mission trip.
So we have an upcoming mission trip to Uganda in July. We are looking forward to, we have broken ground in starting the building of a medical clinic So we're excited about that.
Awesome. That's
Um,
awesome.
in dealing with a population of people, they're called the Batwa, also known as the Pygmies, who were banished from the forest. They only lived in the forest for several years, but they were banished from their homes to live amongst the people within the villages. They are not considered humans by some, although we all share the same skin color.
Wow.
They've never, they've been introduced to a lot of things they've never been accustomed to because they were original hunters and gatherers. So now that they have been introduced into society, now they are developing certain illnesses that they never encountered. Most of their uh, things that they encountered, whether there were bites or illnesses, were managed through herbal medicines
Mm-hmm.
that were created by the king, who's still alive today. He's in his 80s.
Oh, wow.
But to say we are building a community, permanent housing for them, as well as buying property in order for them to grow and to expand, because now they're having to grow their own food.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a community feeding. Everything is done where everyone works together. There is
Mm-hmm.
no, this family has their own part of the land where they grow. Everything is, they eat together, they grow together. Um, it's just one big family.
Yeah.
In this particular village, there's over 55 members there. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we are prioritizing at this time, with them needing permanent housing due to the rainy seasons,
Mm-hmm.
where they can no longer, like they were in the forest, they would move from place to place.
Yeah.
Um, educating the children.
Mm-hmm.
Schools in Africa are not free. In order to go to school, you have to pay. You also have to have uniforms. Most of the kids do have to go to what they consider boarding schools because they're so far away from their homes. So you'll see kids starting their daily walk at 4 a.m. in the morning
Wow.
just to get to their schools. And this is usually the average cost is $500 a year. That covers their books, tuition, clothes, and food.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and we'll say $500 covers everything. Um, so those are our main targets at this time.
Okay. Excellent. So here again, those of you who are tuning in tonight and those that will watch this replay, definitely take the opportunity to go to the website. And I know that Dr. Wagner has a whole lot of other information there. She's told you about, I think, the top three targets. Um, and but there's other information there, but go check that out. There's an opportunity for you to donate on whatever level. If you don't have 500, you got five, donate five, whatever that is, to be a help to this mission. And, there are a lot of missions and things that we donate to and we never know what happens. So you have somebody that's in the trenches, um, that is, hands-on, working with these villages in Africa and, doing dual. So there's ministry work and then there's the medicinal piece also. And so thank you so much for taking the opportunity to share tonight. And of course, we'll have to have you come back and talk to us, especially after the next mission trip. And I know that there's some other things that are happening. So we'll want to hear from you again, so that we can share that information and give people the opportunity, in the event that they want to ask questions or have inquiries, they're able to contact you on your website. Is that correct?
Yes, they can.
Okay. All right. anything you want to leave, any parting words you want to leave with us, our audience tonight as it relates to this area? And I know it's a very passionate area for you. And like I said, this is all kind of a trichotomy. It's ministry, it's medicine, and it's mission.
I thank you for this platform, this opportunity to tell you about Mustard Seed Global Health and Wellness. Our mission is just not to provide healthcare, but to reflect God's love for
Yeah.
restoring dignity, promoting
Hmm.
wellness, creating a lasting impact in the
Hmm.
communities that He has called me to serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. And it's such an and Hazel was saying, and even in the chat, that we just take life for granted, where we are, what we have. And when we get into situations and we don't have the ability to get our favorite coffee, tea, drink, or whatever, or go to our favorite restaurant without having a meltdown. And you have a contrast such as this so far to the other extreme, that there's no control over that, because for a lot of us, we can get up, we can utilize our skills, we can do something to, you know, suffice that desire, not necessarily a need, but the desire. And when you have people that have the needs, and to your point earlier, depending on the strength of God, the wisdom of God, to give them the innovation, right? The innovative and creativity to establish what they need based on the resources that they have. And so um, it's an amazing thing to think about, but it's also an opportunity for some deep self-reflection, right? That help us to really put into perspective where we are and where it is that we're trying to go, and how it is that we're putting things into its proper perspective or proper level of priority, because some things should be so low on the totem pole, and there are other things that should be very, very high. So we thank you so much for taking this time tonight. And like I said, we're definitely going to make sure that we have you come back and share with us again. But I definitely want you to take the opportunity to go to www.msghealth.org and check out this mission opportunity, and take advantage of the opportunity to sow your seed for this particular mission. But thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. And
You.
until next time, as always, you never know what's going to happen here at Tuesday Motivation and Conversation. Uh, but we will be back, and we'll be back on track with our series Self Work Framework next week, same time, same place, Tuesday Motivation and Conversation. We'll see you next time.